Hi, I'm Gavin,
And I'm Dave.
and you're on the fringe.
Come along with us for a ride on a podcast where we talk about an area or a thing going on in the world that needs more attention, just like you do. Let's go.
On the fringe. Here we go.
Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back and welcome to On the Fringe to all of our new subscribers. Thank you guys very much for joining. We're extremely excited and happy to bring you a very, very interesting episode today. Gavin, what are we going to be talking about?
We're going to be talking about the life and times of one Miguel Arruda, who whose saga was brought to my attention by my mom, so shout out to her. And Mr. Arruda, who is a member of the Legislative Assembly from Portugal, from the lovely Azores Islands. He's been in the news lately. Why has he been in the news, Dave?
Well, apparently this guy was stealing people's thongs. Not the underwear
Oh,
kind, the foot kind. And I mean, he was selling them for like €2. And if you're looking for a cheap pair of Tommy Hilfiger flip flops or thongs, whatever you want to call them, Portuguese eBay was your place. I don't know how many they would have on there now, but they look to be pretty used, and they still had probably a little bit of life left in them, but I don't know how much and how far you'd get with those €2 thongs. But this guy was stealing suitcases from
yes.
airports, primarily the Lisbon airport in Portugal, and he was basically taking this stuff and bringing it home to his lovely wife and to his sellers on eBay. And he was eventually caught, though, wasn't he, Gavin?
He was. He was caught. Now, the Azores are islands in the mid Atlantic. He, for his job, has to fly back and forth fairly frequently. And apparently, when he would do so, he he borrowed a technique. It's pretty well known. If you're a criminal, it's called the Matrushka technique, and you carry a larger piece of luggage with you. And when you are getting off the plane, you pick up that larger piece of luggage and you get a few smaller items of luggage. And when no one's looking, really quickly, you throw it into the bigger suitcase and then you walk out with it. And he was caught in 4K, as the kids say. He was caught on CCTV. And eventually, people realized this seems to have been a habitual thing. He also didn't do himself any favors, Dave, because he used his real name and I think his birthday on his online account where he was selling people's luggage. And as you rightly pointed out, it's a little weird when a member of parliament uh, is selling people's used footwear on the internet, not for that much money either. The whole thing is just a little mysterious.
It's, I would say, a little bit disturbing and strange as well. And this is actually not the first case of a public official going and stealing luggage. There was a case a couple years ago here in the States where Sam Brinton, one of a Department of Energy official under the Biden administration, was caught stealing a woman's suitcase in Washington D.C. and they put on the clothing, and the woman discovered Sam wearing the clothing, and Sam was charged, and Sam lost their job, and it was a freaking mess for Sam to clear up. And
And
I
it
don't know if
looks like
Sam's
it's
ever going
going
to
to
be able to clean that mess up.
and it looks like it's going to be a mess for Miguel as well. Um, he has major problems. So one of the interesting things about Portuguese politics, uh, you do have parliamentary immunity. So unlike the United States, where you do not have immunity if you're a cabinet level official, um, you do have immunity if you're a parliamentarian. He has asked for that to be removed, but kind of under duress. His initial excuse was that these were items his wife had bought without him knowing about them. And then he claimed that he had bought them, but he'd forgotten the receipts. So the police showed up at his apartment. They didn't arrest him. Now he's saying he's going to fight it in court, but that it was probably generated by AI, which doesn't really explain, again, doesn't really explain why he had all of this luggage in his apartment. Bit of an issue there.
I don't know
So,
how you would fit 17 suitcases full of stuff in an apartment unless it was a really, really big apartment. I mean, I'm thinking, okay, you've got 17 bags. Are you going to basically use those as chairs? Or are you going to use them as showpieces to show people? I mean, how are you going to hide this if you've got that
well,
many bags? And if you're
this is
selling
the
them on
mystery.
online, mhm.
This is the mystery, isn't it? I mean, I would imagine. First of all, I think the apartment he had in Lisbon was probably paid for by the government. So, this guy can't be suffering, right? And you would think if it was simple kleptomania, or if he really wanted to wear the clothes, as Britain did, um, okay, there's that. But then taking the items and trying to make a little money on the side when, an MP in Portugal is not exactly going to the poorhouse. It's just it's again, it's a little disturbing and it's quite baffling and it's quite ironic actually, because this guy's like the most vocally anti-crime. Everyone's a criminal. Everyone on the left is associated with criminals and taking bribes, and corruption is a huge problem in Portugal. No one's denying that, but it's a bit rich to, go on these rants about leftists taking money from Brussels, and then you get caught hawking used Rolexes on the internet using your own name. It's just like, oh my God, uh, what's going
It's
on
almost
there?
like he wanted to get caught in a way. It really
Yeah,
is.
he
Because if
is.
he's putting his own name on the account, it's almost like he's saying, okay, there's the CCTV footage of me taking the bag from the airport or from the airport. And at the airport, I'm walking into a bathroom. I've got two. In the bathroom, I do my disappearing luggage trick and I walk out with one. And a couple days later, there's a bunch of stuff for sale online and it's being sold by me. And it's not being sold for very much money, which is kind of the shocker.
I know because again, like, if it's a kleptomaniacal urge, or if it's a cry for help, or if you're like trying to, I don't know, if you have like a gambling addiction or something and you're trying to make the money back, that makes sense. I, every angle at this doesn't make a lot of sense. I think unless you go, he wanted on some level to get caught. And I have to say, and we've discussed this, there have been moments where I've really been vividly reminded of George Santos, where it's like, this is not rational behavior. This is somewhere between what can I get away with and something more compulsive. Uh, but it has gone viral. It's gotten all the way to where, Dave?
So it's made it all the way to Macau. And Macau was a former Portuguese colony, so it would kind of make sense this is going out over there. But I saw something about this on Macau's. English news site. I saw something in India on an
Yeah,
Indian news website. It's gone
yeah.
viral all over the world. And you would have never guessed that a Portuguese MP stealing luggage would be on the front page of news in another country like this. But it's out there. It's definitely out there. And this guy has completely destroyed his whole reputation and his whole career for doing this if he's actually proven guilty. It looks to me that, yes, he very likely is going to be.
I mean, it's pretty watertight. And, the fact that his lawyers managed to backtrack, but he confessed to the police. He said, "Yeah, I took it," before he started blaming his wife. Um, yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty comprehensively torched whatever reputation he had. Uh, his former party, Chega, which is the far right party in Portugal, which is anti-immigrant, anti-crime, very anti the establishment. Uh, they booed him in Parliament. He left the party before he was expelled. It was very much a case of I quit before you can fire me. And he's now sitting in the back of Parliament very much by himself. And I don't think his reputation is going to recover anytime soon. Uh, Chega means enough in Portuguese, and I think Parliament's had enough, and his
Basta.
party's had, yeah, it's basta. It's basta all over again. So, Mr. Arruda will be sitting in the timeout corner until he takes a much longer timeout, which in Portugal could be up to 5 years.
Yep. And it's going to be a little bit of money and some time to think about what he did. And hopefully he can figure out his life and hopefully he can figure out a way to basically make the most of this situation. And if you are going through some sort of a problem, if you're having a mental health crisis, or if you have a sudden urge to do something crazy, then talk to somebody and make sure
Reach
that
out, reach
just make
out.
sure that you reach out. Don't just get online and look through Reddit or look through a forum. Actually talk to another human being because it will make a big difference in terms of helping you clear up those thoughts and having a path forward.
Yeah, and whatever you do, don't get on eBay and start thinking about how much that old Rolex is going to go for because you know what, bud? It's just not worth it.
No, it's not.
Anyways, we're still on the fringe, and have a good one, everybody.
Yep. Take care. Stay warm.